Did Jin secretly follow Jungkook? This surprising question has become a hot topic among BTS fans. The rumor emerged after several keen-eyed armies claimed to have found hidden clues, which, if true, could change the public's perception of BTS's internal dynamics and even influence the future direction of this global group. Is it true that Jin deliberately tracked Jungkook's movements, or is this all just an exaggerated coincidence? The speculation began when some fans noticed similarities between Jin's upload locations and Jungkook's activities around the same time. For example, social media screenshots showed Jin at a place that turned out to be not far from where Jungkook was caught on camera by fans a few hours earlier. This connection made the public wonder, was Jin deliberately there, or was it just an unexpected meeting? Another clue that fueled the rumor was a small detail from their online interactions. Jungkook is known to often do live broadcasts to interact with fans, and several times armies have noticed that Jin appeared in the digital sphere at close times. Some mentioned that Jin gave subtle codes through brief comments, emojis, or online activities that seemed in tune with Jungkook's gestures. All of this is considered additional evidence that Jin wasn't just coincidentally present, but was actually monitoring his colleagues' movements. This secretly following phenomenon is not just a personal issue. Korean entertainment observers assess that if Jin really did this, it could be read as a form of deep concern for Jungkook. Considering Jin's position as the oldest member and a brother figure in the group, his actions most likely stem from a sense of responsibility and care. However, some also assess that Jin's presence around Jungkook could be interpreted as an attempt to supervise, direct, or even control him. BTS's future itself is currently under the spotlight. With increasingly prominent individual dynamics, including the solo activities of the members, many are wondering if they can still maintain their strength as a unified group. In this context, Jin's alleged actions of following Jungkook are seen as an important symbol, a signal that BTS's internal bonds remain strong, even though the career paths of each member are starting to vary. However, of course, skepticism cannot be ignored. Some netizens assess that the theory of Jin following Jungkook is too exaggerated. According to them, many of the evidence presented by fans are nothing more than exaggerated interpretations arising from the public's longing for moments of BTS togetherness. The fact that Jin and Jungkook were in the same location at close times could just be the result of work schedules that happened to overlap. Nevertheless, one thing that cannot be denied is how this issue has managed to attract global attention. Every screenshot, comment, or video is analyzed down to the smallest detail, as if fans are putting together a large puzzle about the future of BTS. This enthusiasm shows how strong the emotional bond of armies is towards the group, and how they continue to try to find meaning behind every interaction between members. If viewed from the perspective of inter-member relations, the allegation that Jin secretly follows Jungkook can also be seen as a reflection of their emotional closeness. Jungkook, who is often portrayed as an energetic magnate, may be a figure who always wants to be supported and protected. Jin, with his role as the oldest young, may feel called to ensure Jungkook stays on the right track, especially amidst the great pressure they face as global stars. The question that then arises is, do these clues really indicate a big fact that has not been revealed? Or is this just part of a narrative created by fans to prolong the euphoria? This debate is what makes this issue even more alive, because in the end the public is faced with a dilemma: to believe the scattered visual evidence, or to realize that the reality of artists is often shaped by the perception of fans. Whatever the answer, it is clear that the rumor of Jin following Jungkook has opened a new discussion about the dynamics of BTS. Not only about the interaction of two members, but also about how the public views the future of this group amidst solo career transitions and highly anticipated comebacks. Fans are now faced with a mystery that may never be fully answered, but that is precisely where its appeal lies, a curiosity that continues to fuel enthusiasm, proving that every small step of the members still manages to shake the global entertainment world. But behind all this speculation, an important question arises that should not be ignored. Is it true that Jin secretly follows Jungkook? Or is this just a series of coincidences wrapped in a dramatic narrative by fans and the media? This is the question we should all reflect on together. Are clues such as similar locations, the same emojis, or close uploads really strong enough to be evidence? Or are we just trapped in an illusion game formed from armies longing for BTS member interactions? If we look deeper, this phenomenon actually opens up a wider discussion about how the public consumes information in the digital age. When every video clip from TikTok, screenshot from Twitter, or snippet of a live broadcast on YouTube is overanalyzed, isn't there a risk that we are building a pseudo-reality? Can we still distinguish between real facts and emotional interpretations? Another question we need to ask is, who actually benefits from this issue? Do Jin or Jungkook really have certain intentions behind their gestures? Or is it the media and entertainment accounts that reap huge profits from the sensation that continues to be fueled? In other words, does this issue more reflect the reality of BTS's internal relations, or is it just a strategy to maintain public attention? Undeniably, fans' curiosity often drives them to find hidden meanings behind every small detail. However, is such an obsession healthy for the community? Does this actually create excessive pressure for artists whose lives are always watched, interpreted, and even manipulated? Imagine if every step you take in public space continues to be linked to a grand narrative that you may never have intended. What is the impact on personal freedom? It is important to remember that the information we are talking about comes from various digital platforms that have not necessarily been verified. Sources such as TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, or other media snippets can indeed be the starting point for a discussion, but should we fully trust them without official evidence? Or conversely, do we need to wait for direct confirmation from the parties involved before drawing conclusions? Let's reflect. Is it true that Jin, an artist with a global reputation, would openly or even secretly follow Jungkook without considering the major consequences that could arise? Or is this just the result of framing by the media and fans who always want to see drama behind the scenes? This question is important because it will determine how we respond to every rumor about big idols like BTS. Furthermore, this phenomenon shows how great the power of perception is in the entertainment world. A blurry photo, a brief comment, or a location upload can immediately be interpreted into a big story that attracts world attention. Are we aware that we may be part of a narrative construction that is deliberately allowed to grow in order to maintain hype? Is this evidence of how vulnerable the public is to sensationalism? This is where the importance of skepticism lies. Not everything that seems should be immediately believed. Not everything that sounds dramatic really reflects reality. Wouldn't it be wiser if we positioned ourselves as critical viewers who not only get caught up in the euphoria, but also question the logic behind every claim? Let's ask a provocative question. If this rumor proves to be untrue, will we feel disappointed or relieved that the BTS members can still live their personal lives without conspiracies entangling them? If, on the other hand, this rumor turns out to be true, what does it mean for the future of BTS? Will this strengthen the belief that the bond between members remains intact,